I have been involved in 3 MLMs. We are going to talk about my experience in 3 MLMs and what they are, because I didn't even know while I was in them, and what you need to know about them going forward. If you are new here, my name is Jennifer. I typically make videos all about saving money through being frugal and implementing minimalism. I also am documenting our journey to paying off our mortgage by the year of 2024 and ultimately being financially independent. So if any of that interests you and you want to follow along on our journey, make sure you bookmark this channel by clicking that subscribe button. We are going to get real in this video. Not everybody is going to have the same opinion. This is simply my opinion. I don't want to bash anybody. I don't want anybody to be to think anything negatively about people who might be in MLMs. I just want to give you my perspective. On my channel, I talk about saving money, and I am completely open and honest with you all. So I want to give you guys kind of my experience with this, so you can take it for what it is and make your own opinion. I always want you to follow and make your own opinion, because there's always 3 sides to a story, right? One side, the second side, and then the actual story that actually happened. But I also say that that's very different as well, because in that, different people have different perspectives. You can have 3 people watching a commercial per se, and they're all 3 going to see something different, even though it was the exact same commercial. First of all, when I first heard the word MLM, it was on YouTube, and it was, I believe, some sort of an anti-MLM thing. And I thought, well, what in the world is an MLM? So I looked up the definition, and then I heard some people saying that it used to be called a pyramid scheme, but it's the new business technique, wording for like network marketing. So if you were like me, I didn't know what it was. So what I'm going to start off by doing is reading the definition from Wikipedia of what an MLM is. Multi-level marketing, also called network marketing or pyramid selling, is a controversial marketing strategy for the sale of products or services where the revenue of the MLM company is derived from a non-salaried workforce selling the company's products or services, while the earnings of the participants are derived from a pyramid-shaped or binary compensation commission system. And so that gives you kind of a generalization. I want to explain it to basically what I have finally understood an MLM to be. It's these products, and I am not going to name any MLM company in this video. I'm not even going to name the ones that I was a part of. I am going to give you a description, and you can make up your own mind as to what company that was, but I don't want to bash anybody here. But basically what I understand an MLM to be is a company, a business, and what they do is they have almost like sales representatives under them. And those sales representatives sell their product. That is the only way to get that product, though, is to buy it through a sales representative. You typically cannot go to a store or just simply order the product online. That irritates me very much. I'll explain it a little bit further. But then that sales representative also recruits people underneath them to also sell the product. And what that does is, let's say you've got person A is Sally, and Sally recruits person B and person C, Tom and Susan. Well, if Tom and Susan sell product, then Sally gets money from the sale of those products. So as you can see, if you go down, it goes down a pyramid. The people who have the most people underneath them make the most money. Now let me say this, that I also found, according to a report that studied the business models of 350 MLMs in the United States, published on the Federal Trade Commission's website, at least 99% of people who join MLM companies lose money. So this is why I am talking about this on my channel, because 99% lose money. Nonetheless, MLMs function because downline participants are encouraged to hold on to the belief that they can achieve large returns, while the statistical improbability of this is de-emphasized. they don't talk about it. When they're encouraging you to sign up to sell it, they don't talk about the statistics that actually you can find on a lot of their websites. So what does this mean? This means that 1% who join an MLM make it. So what is an MLM? So you can think about some makeup companies, some essential oil companies. There are some fitness companies. There are some companies that sell supplements. So just kind of, you can Google MLM, and they've been around forever. So the first one that I got pulled into being involved in, I think I was 20. And so that would have been in the year of 2004. Yes, I've done that math correctly. In 2004 would be the first one. There wasn't social media that I remember. I think MySpace came along at some point, but there wasn't social media. So the way MLMs run now are very different from the way they ran then. So the reason MLMs are so popular is because it's almost, they say it's like starting your own small business. Well, starting a small business has a lot of startup fees, a lot of startup cost, whether it's product testing, websites, insurance, liability coverage, speaking to an attorney, getting an LLC. There's a lot of startup costs typically with your own small business. Well, the MLM, this business is already started. So they sell it as if you're running your own business. There is also already brand awareness. So they do the marketing for you. This is another thing that when you're building a small business, you've got to somehow market your product from the ground up. Whereas an MLM company already has the name. Most people may already know the name out in the world. Here is another reason I knew I had to talk to you about this now. MLMs thrive during recessions. They thrive when people are desperate for money, because desperate people will do things that they would not typically do if they were not in a desperate situation. So what MLMs do is they typically target somebody who's looking to make easy or quick money, something that they can do on their own time, they can work from home, and they can make as much as they want depending upon how much they want to work. How they end up getting you is you usually have to buy a starter pack, or you have to have membership fees that you have to pay, or you have to buy inventory. There's always an underlying amount that you have to pay in order to get started. They don't end up telling you how much time it actually takes to make one of these a success, how much of your free time you actually end up giving up just to get started and get going. The majority of the people who make the most money in these are the people that have a lot of people in their downline. That's how they make their money. They don't make their money from product sales, right? They make their money from recruiting. That is the main job. A lot of times when you ask somebody what an MLM is, they sometimes already know that an MLM isn't really about selling the product. It's about selling the product and the lifestyle and the money to someone else. It's about recruiting people underneath you. This also tends to come from people who are already in our life. It may be someone that you went to school with or a distant relative, and they are going to tell you all of the beautiful daisies, rainbows, and unicorns about the business. They're not going to tell you the deep, dark, and dirty. You have to do your own research to find that out. They're going to pull you in by telling you all of the wonderful things. Now, you got to think about that. That is the same thing with any kind of sales. If you go to buy a car or a brand new house, you're not going to be there. They're not going to tell you all the negative things that are around. They're going to tell you all the positive. But you, as the consumer, typically know to do your research to look at what the negative things are. However, when these MLMs come to us, they are usually from people we know. So we think because we know them that we should trust them. They've already done the research for us. So I'm going to tell you about the MLMs I was involved in. The first one when I was around 20 was one that was makeup. And I worked with the person who got me into it. And I remember her bringing me over to her house and doing some sort of like a hand scrub from the stuff on me. And then next thing I know, she's talking about how she had to buy all of this inventory because you had to buy the inventory, right? So that when somebody wanted the product, they got it immediately versus ordering it, which you could do, meaning you wouldn't have to pay a whole lot of money upfront. But if you had it already in stock, you could easily just drop it off, and that would be much more customer satisfaction. So I was all about this. I was 20 years old. I didn't go to college, so I wasn't in college during this time. I was working a job where I was making, I think I was making around $11 or $12 an hour. Again, this was back in about 2004. And I have always been wanting to one up, and just do better and grow within a career. And I was like, yeah, let's do this. I actually really liked the product, but the product was really super expensive. But hey, I got the product at cost. So maybe a foundation that costs $30, I only had to pay $15 for it. I remember having to purchase the startup, and I had the cash to do it. So at that time, I purchased the startup stuff. I don't remember the cost of it. I'm gonna go ahead and say that it was $250 to $300, which I'm sorry, for a 20-year-old who made $11, $12 an hour was a lot of money. And that didn't give you much product. It actually gave you nothing. It gave you all the samples. It gave you some materials. It was the startup fee, and it was some of the things you needed to do the party, essentially. And then I remember being invited to this event they were holding. And that's one thing you'll see is they'll always hold these events. You know, it's a rah-rah-ree, kind of a cheer you on kind of a thing. I didn't feel that when I walked into the event. I'm an introvert, naturally. I can speak to people, absolutely. I can turn it on if I need to. And I was extremely introverted in my 20s, not so much now. So I walked in and I just felt completely uncomfortable. I was a 20-something-year-old young person. These ladies were late 30s, 40s, 50s. They weren't looking at to me like I was a teammate because I wasn't in their upline or downline. Anything I sold wasn't going to make them any money. They were looking at me like competition. That's one thing I don't see people actually talking about in the videos that I've looked at that have been online on MLMs. They all talk about everybody lifts everybody up. That's not what I felt. At this event, I felt that like mean girl, you know, that look. And then they gave me homework. Yeah, I was out of high school at this point, but I still had homework. They gave me a worksheet with 10 lines. I had to test 10 people, go up to 10 people and wash their hands in this hand scrub. Okay. So I've got to go find 10 people. Who are you typically going to go find? Your friends, your family, your coworkers. That is who you typically start to go and try to sell these products to. Well, I don't know about you, but selling things sometimes feels slimy. I would rather somebody not try to sell me. If I want to buy something, I've already done the research behind it, and you really don't have to sell me on something. I find it really annoying. I don't like people who are overly friendly to try to sell you something. I don't like people reaching out like that. It's creepy to me. You know, somebody comes up to you in a store and they're helping you. If you're trying to help me, just as a general, be nice, help me, absolutely. But if you start pushing things on me, I remember we went, and I go off on tangents a lot on my channel, so that those of you who know me know this, but I remember when we were selling our house and buying another one, we had a real estate agent, and she was literally trying to push us into purchasing a home. We put an offer on, but they countered back, and she was pushing us. Excuse me, I can make my own decisions. I'm an adult. I don't need you telling me that I need to do this now or the house is going to be gone, and keep pushing. And I can feel pressure. I know when somebody's just giving me advice, So if you want to give me advice and say, you know, this home, if you guys want to move forward, this is what you need to do. And it's certainly up to you, but here's the facts that it's probably going to be gone here in a little while. That wasn't what she did. I don't like the pushiness. So I kept on trying to sell the product. I never sold the product to anyone other than family members. And I ended up feeling so bad that, so the product, the way it worked was you bought the product. So let's go back to that foundation. You bought the product for $15, but you sold it to them for $30 and you made the 15% profit, right? So what I ended up doing was, and in order to keep the discount, you had to purchase a minimum amount of product every month, regardless if you sold it or not. So I had to actually sell the product or buy product just to keep in as a membership or to keep in with that discount. So what I ended up was just slightly, I think I upcharged maybe 10 to 20% to my family, and we would get the product at a pretty good deal. I never made any money. I lost a lot of money. I was a part of the 99%. So my recruiter, the person who recruited me, ended up getting out of it. But her recruiter, so the person in the next top, who was very high up in the company, stayed on me, and I do not like that. I don't like for you to keep calling me, to keep texting me. It irritates me. It will make me not want to talk to you or hear from you or buy anything from you or be part of anything with you. So she kept on me for years later. I had stopped selling this stuff, and it was 3 or 4 years later, and I would get a random email from her. One of the things that this company always touted was you need to hold these parties, you know, and then from there, these other people would hold these parties. I never held a party, never had a party. I was very work-minded at that point, and I didn't have the type of people around me that would want to even go to that kind of a party. It just wasn't my thing. But again, love the product. I would wear it to this day if I didn't have to pay so much, and I didn't have to go through a sales rep who would then annoy the crap out of me all of the time, either to buy more product or to be recruited. So what was your second MLM, Jennifer? Well, I can't even begin to remember the name of the company. I was 23 or 24, so we're gonna say 2006, 2007, right? No, 2007, 2008, something like that, around that age. And I don't exactly remember how I met this lady, but she was a stay-at-home mom, so she started this because for that reason, she just wanted her own extra income. This one really made me spend money. I lost a lot more money on this one than I did the makeup. The person who was recruiting me was I was the first person she was recruiting. So we all met, her recruiter, her and myself met for coffee. I don't drink coffee, if you know, so we were at Starbucks and I think I was having a passion fruit tea or something. I remember this very vividly. It was all the good stuff. You know, you do as much as you want. Let me show you this stuff. This stuff is amazing. All you have to do is, you know, hold these products or hold these parties and you can sell this product. The best part is, you know, you do have to buy the inventory. You've got to buy the inventory because those are your samples. When you hold this party, you want to have those samples there so that the people can try them on, they can feel them. That's going to make them want to buy them more. And in the meantime, you get to wear the jewelry every single day. You are your own walking billboard. I thought, yeah, I was a jewelry fiend back then. Inexpensive crap jewelry, meaning I just loved it. I had to wear, I had to wear like these specific colors, like uniforms. I was in a form of like a property management kind of a thing. And I had to wear these certain colors, right? And so wearing like a statement necklace or statement earrings was the way to show my personality or pop the outfit. So the starter kit was very expensive. I think it may have been $500 to $600. Now, if you know my story, this is already when I'm in debt and I'm getting credit card debt. I can tell you guys the larger story of my debt. It'll probably bring me to tears thinking about it when I was in my 20s. they caught me in a desperate situation. This caught me in a very desperate situation. I didn't like what I was doing for work, but it was during like the recession. So it was 2008, 2007, 2008 when that recession started to happen. So it was during that time. I didn't like what I was doing for work, but I had a job, so I was very thankful for that. I was trying to live on my own. I was overextending myself. I was not in a good situation as far as a relationship. I was extremely unhappy and way overstretched as far as debt goes. And I thought, well, this is the solution. I've got spare time. You know, I can do this. I can throw parties. So I believe it was probably $500 to $600 for the startup. And guess what? This company had their own credit line. So you could get your credit card through them and finance it from there. How convenient is that, right? You'll make your money back in the first party. That's what it is. So one of the things this company did was the person who recruited you would throw your first party. It would be your, party where you're introducing yourself and all of your friends and family come, and it's all about you. It's not where you're going to another person's house where they're hosting the party and you're just the sales rep. So we'll get the party, we spend the money, we got the food, we've got the jewelry all laid out very nice, we got the space. 2 people showed up. That's it. My mom was one of them. So it was me, my recruiter, my mom, and one other person. I don't remember who that was. That's it. So lost money there too with all of the food, the prep, the time. I felt like an utter disaster. Well, somehow I remember getting somebody else, getting 2 parties. That's what it was. There was a girl I worked with, so I did a party for her. And then there was somebody at that party who wanted to throw a party, so I did another party. I did 2 parties. And I did not make the money back. I think I profited I think I made maybe $200, but that didn't dent into the $600 I'd already spent. And the thing about the jewelry company is they come out with a new collection every like spring and fall. So guess what? You've got to buy the pieces every spring and fall. So what people aren't realizing is the salespeople, the people who are selling this stuff, are the actual customer of the business, of the MLM. Not necessarily just the people they're selling product to that aren't affiliated with the business. You having to pay startup fees, having to buy inventory, having to buy the new product launches is their business. The third one was a fitness workout thing. I actually ran across this on Instagram, and I'm not on Instagram anymore, but I remember seeing this person who was, she showed her before and after, and she was getting in shape, and I think this was actually 3 years ago. Yes, 3 years ago, and my daughter's a little over 4, so trying to get that baby weight off. This one got me. I had no idea signing up for it. It was even this type of a program, or that I could sell it to somebody else. They never told me any of that. I signed up for being in a test group for a new program because the person who was showing all of the before and afters, who looked amazing. It was crazy. And she would actually show her workouts. And I thought, I could do this. You had to sign up with the program and do the powders, the shakes, all the stuff with it. You had to sign up in order to be a part of the test group. So that's what I thought I was doing. Okay, cool. Great. Let's do that. Come to find out, it was an MLM. And if I recruited people under me, I would make more money because I would make money from them. But that didn't come until I was already into it, already doing the workouts. Now, I never even attempted to do that with this company. I never tried to sell it to anybody. I did do the workouts. Loved it. It was great. Got a slight discount on some of the products because I was a part of it. And finally thought, no, I don't like the product. I don't like the things that I have to do with the workout. Why do I have to do the things with the workout? And I got out of that. Well, so I ended up paying just the normal cost to have the programs. I tell you all of this to also tell you that regardless of which one it was, they all felt slimy. I felt slimy. What you will find, and when you hear the stories about these, is people lose friends, they lose family, they lose faith in their coworkers, or their coworkers lose faith in them, because they feel like when, let's say you're going to a family gathering, oh, Susie's going to be there, you know she's going to try to sell you on something from that company that she's a part of. And now it's getting to the point where people will show these things on the social media. So you'll be like, why is this person's skin so pretty, right? Or gosh, and I gotta tell you this, that workout person, I finally actually noticed later, she would gain weight on purpose for the next, I guess, workout thing that was rolling out, so that she could lose it and show you the befores and afters. It was I saw that finally and I thought, nope, eyes opened to it. So what I want to do is just open your eyes to it. One of the biggest takeaways to think about is they do not tell you all of the actual details that you need to know. They don't tell you things about like quarterly taxes. If you're a 1099 or something like that, you might be subject to quarterly taxes. And if you don't pay those quarterly taxes, you would then be charged a fee because of that. So they also don't give you any financial guidance. They tell you all of this stuff, you're gonna make all this big money, but being your own boss takes a little bit more information. And here is the other thing, for those people that say that they are their own boss, it is their own thing, their own company. It is not. You are not the boss. That is not your business. Your name is not at the top of that business. If that business decides that they want to close up shop tomorrow, you're done. What you are is a sales rep. That is what you are. You are a sales rep for the business. So don't let somebody sell you and say that you are a boss. It is your business. It's your own business. It's not. Now, there are some good products out there that are being sold through MLMs. I am not saying there aren't. I had experience with some. But why do I have to buy your product through a salesperson? Why can't I just buy it from a store or go online and buy it? Is it maybe because the actual business model isn't the product itself? It's the recruiting, it's the people, it's the fees, it's the startup that is actually the most of the business profit? What you will find is that oftentimes these products are 20 to 30% more than a similar, basically the same product you will find in a store. Now that is, again, because the company has to make their money. And then you have to profit some money too, otherwise it wouldn't be worth it for you, right? So what I want to say to you is before you start out doing anything, do your research. Don't just listen to one person. Do your own research. Google is your best friend when it comes to this. Find out the facts and the details behind the company. If that is what you then still choose to do, you are your own person. We are all beautifully different. We can all do what we so please. Remember, there's a risk in starting any business. There's obviously the 99% to the 1% in an MLM. There's a risk in any business. I mean, if you wanted to start a coffee shop on the corner or a donut store, they may fail too. They may not profit. So there's a risk in everything. And I want to add this. What I am also seeing now, and I'm going to expand on this a little bit further, probably next week, is I am seeing influencers being in MLMs. And they already have a huge following. So they don't have to do a lot of work to recruit people. People trust them. Like we're talking, I feel like most of you guys are my friends, and to break your trust would be just heartbreaking for me. I don't want to do that. I don't ever especially want to do that for monetary gain. But what they're doing is they're showing these things that they're using, and people trust them. They feel more trust towards them than they would a celebrity trying to sell something. So I am seeing a lot of that. So again, be very careful. Do your own research. I am not, again, saying that anybody in an MLM or at the top of an MLM or at the bottom of an MLM, I am not trying to hurt or bash anybody. What I'm trying to do is bring awareness to the fact that you need to do your research. You make whatever decision you want to make. It's not affecting me. I'm just trying to help open people's eyes up to make sure that if you're going into anything that you get the full picture. If you stayed to the end, I know this was a little bit longer of a video, but I felt very passionate about sharing this story, and I hope you enjoyed it and maybe got something out of it. If you did and you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you back for more videos.